Hi there, welcome to my channel. I'm Jenna and I built the tiny house behind me over 10 years ago, and I traveled all around North America with it until it landed here on Whidbey Island. Whidbey Island is a semi-remote island off the coast of Washington, accessible only by ferry on the south end. And as you can see, I'm parked in a rather rural area, and we do lose power a couple times a year due to high winds and heavy rain. Here in the Pacific Northwest, fall and winter can be rather unpredictable, so today I'm testing out a home backup power system to prepare for the storm season. Obviously, powering a house is extremely important for everyone's safety, ensuring that we're not left in the dark, so a few lights are on, we're able to keep the food in the fridge cold, and that everybody stays warm. So Jackery is sponsoring this video, and they sent me their new unit, the HomePower 3600 Plus. We're gonna unbox it, learn about it together, and then we'll plug it into my tiny house and see how long we can stay comfy without power from the grid. And later, I'm gonna take the unit to one of my friends' tiny homes and do the exact same test so that we get an overall view of what this unit can do, not only for my tiny home, but other tiny homes as well. Jackery also sent me the Solar Saga 500 watt panels, so we're gonna unbox both of those items right now. So inside we have the plug, the manual, and this is the unit. One thing I'm already noticing about this unit is the portability. The luggage-like design ensures that it's ready to roll whenever you need it. So in some ways, it's much more manageable than a smaller unit because you're able to wheel it behind you like a dolly. All right, here goes. It's another box. I don't even deal with my own Amazon boxes. That's Nabil's job. Wow, look at these. All right, now that we've unboxed everything, I'm gonna plug the unit in so that we get a full charge, and I'm also gonna take a look at some of the components that are on the front. All right, so let's check out some of the components and plug it into the wall. So the plug in for the wall is actually on this side. It's also where you can plug in the solar panels and also where you can plug in any expansion units that you might have. Because this unit is pretty cool that it can expand up to 2,100 kilowatt hours. So this Jackery unit features ultra fast charging. You can get from 0 to 100% in less than 2.5 hours if you plug it into the wall. And if you use those Solar Saga 500 panels, it only takes 4 hours as long as you're getting full sun. On the front of the unit, it has the really awesome LCD screen that gives you all sorts of information, including where we're at as far as charging. We're at 97%. It also gives you your input and output. We obviously aren't powering anything with the unit right now, so our output is 0, but once we start plugging things in, this number will change. This is where I plug in my tiny house. It's a 30 amp port, and basically it's just plug and play. I plug in my tiny house and it powers everything inside. Otherwise, you can plug in individual items. So this is where you would plug in anything that requires an AC outlet. And in order to do that, you would also have to turn on the AC inverter. So that turns on all of these units right here and this one as well. If you're just using this unit to power, let's say, some cell phones, get those up to charge, or maybe some battery lights, you could just use the DC portion over here. We got 2 regular USB ports and 2 USB-C ports over here as well. All right, we did it. We're fully charged, so I'm gonna take this outside and plug in my house and do a few tests. All right, so we've just plugged in my tiny house, and I can see that I have an output of only 70 watts. Admittedly, my tiny house is extremely efficient, and we usually only lose power in the winter time. And because I've put in a wood stove, I don't really need to power any space heaters in my tiny home. So what I'm powering right now is just my fridge on low power setting, and also a few lights and a weather station. At that rate, this unit could power my tiny house for about 35 hours, which is about a day and a half. That's with me being relatively inefficient as far as what my tiny house can do. I could turn off all the lights, I could turn on and off my fridge if I needed to, pack it full of ice. I mean, I could easily survive, but with this unit, I wouldn't have to change anything about my lifestyle. So just for the sake of doing a true test, I plugged in the Solar Saga 500 panel. And right now, with pretty good sun on them, I'm getting about 240 watts. Obviously, I could get probably a little bit better usage out of them if I position them a little bit more evenly. But with that, and my house only needing to pull about 70 watts, this would power my tiny house indefinitely. But of course, at night, you don't have solar and we don't always have a bright sunny day. So the battery, you could imagine, would deplete sometimes, but as long as you're able to get up to 4 hours of sunshine like this every single day, this thing could pretty much power my house forever. But this has got me thinking, I wonder how my tiny house, which is extremely efficient, compares to other tiny homes. So why don't we take this over to my friend's tiny home and see how it stacks up. So now I'm here at the Tiny Tack House with the owner, Chris, and I brought the Jackery HomePower 3600 Plus, and we're gonna try it out on his tiny home. So what kind of things do you power in your tiny home?
We've got 2 space heaters. We have a hot water heater that's on a switch, some LED lights, the fridge, and the TV.
Great, so I think for today's test, what we'll do is we'll try just the essentials and see how much they're using and how long this unit will power it for. But we'll also do a version where we just turn everything on and see how long it'll go without having any power like solar coming into it, all right?
Sounds good.
So let's test it out. Let's unplug from the grid. And then this is a fully charged unit, so we're gonna plug right into the 30 amp area. So we've got it running in like an emergency situation right now where what would you be powering, would you say?
Yeah, in the warmer months, it would be like the fridge and some lights.
Right, okay, so at that, your house is pulling about 140 watts, which means that this unit, without getting any solar coming into it, could power your house for about a day, about 20 hours. Obviously, if you plugged in the solar panels, it could go much longer, especially in the summer because you're getting a lot of sunlight. So, do you want to try it out now with everything on?
Let's try it.
Let's see what happens.
Let's give it a shot.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so now we have everything. This is the most inefficient that your tiny house can be. So what all is running in your tiny house?
So we have 2 space heaters. We've got the hot water heater, the fridge, and some lights.
Okay, at that, you are pulling about 2,600 watts. Now this unit has, 3,600 watt outage and has nothing coming in. So right now at a almost 100% battery, it would run your house for an hour and maybe 30 minutes.
That is certainly far from an ideal situation. If you're in like an emergency, you're not gonna be having everything turned on.
No, this was a great experiment though to see how much that water heater is actually using.
Water heaters are very inefficient.
Yeah, you wouldn't be taking an hour and a half shower though, I don't think. So
no.
I think that this, test, what it's showing you is having the on and off switch for your water heater would definitely be the way to go in an emergency. All right, well, thanks for letting me test it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
So one of the reasons why I prioritize solar generators over gas generators is because I'm parked in the middle of the woods to have silence and tranquility. I don't want to fire up an engine and hear a motor all the time. I want it to be quiet. And that's why I love this solar generator, because it's ultra quiet. And if you get an unexpected power outage, this unit has new tech that allows it to only drain 5% per year. So you don't have to worry so much about keeping it charged. This unit stays charged for a long time. And while we don't get extreme temperature differentials here in Washington, it can actually withstand -4 degrees up to 113 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's the perfect extreme weather companion. So everybody knows power outages just suck. I mean, they are not only inconvenient, but they can be stressful and even dangerous. So that's why it's important for me to have a home backup power system. And after testing out the Jackery HP 3600, I'm honestly really impressed. It could potentially power my house indefinitely, and that gives me peace of mind, especially when I'm bringing my family out here. So whether you're interested in having a home backup power unit for your tiny home, RV, boat, or even for powering some essential appliances in your traditional home, I think this is a great unit. And thank you to sponsors like Jackery for helping to continue make this channel possible. If you're interested in seeing a tour of the tiny tack house and their backyard community, we're going to be publishing a full episode about them shortly, so make sure to check back soon. And if you're interested in the Jackery HP 3600 or any other Jackery units, make sure you click on the link in the description. And until the next tiny or unique home tour, I'll see you guys later.